Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Subie and You podcast, episode 115. The title says California Rallycross Association, and that is an organization that Skye, who goes by Blanco Racing WRX05, started up not too long ago. So that is what we're here to talk about, in addition to some other things that she has going on, which are really, really cool. She reached out to me and wanted to come back on the podcast to talk about the things that are going on. So I was very honored to have her back on and to help share what's going on with her lately. So here in just a little bit, you will also hear about what she has to say and what she's doing and where she is going, which is really, really cool. I'm going to kick things off with some shout outs. We've got Trekkachusetts, which I really like. That is really cool and very clever. Ren the Weeb Wagon. Also, AZ Softroader. He does not own a Subaru, but says that he listens to the podcast all the time and his future ride will be a Subie. So thank you so much for listening. He also has gotten in touch with Soft Road Nation Arizona and some of the Subie owners out there in Arizona. So thank you all for checking out the podcast and listening, also for your messages, and thank you for sharing. This episode and this podcast are brought to you by Melee Design Firm. If you're looking to spruce up your engine compartment, your engine bay, check out their engine bay caps. They have an assortment of different colors that you can choose from. Also for your engine bay, you can get a new battery, especially a new battery mount, which is what this business started off doing for his own Subaru. He was looking for a battery mount solution, decided to make one himself because somebody else didn't want to have anything to do with it, as you can hear in his episode, which is episode 40. So go check out meleedesignfirm.com and see what they have to offer for your Subaru. As always, thank you so much, Melee Design Firm, for sponsoring this Subie and You podcast. If you are wanting to enhance the overall look of your Subaru, but also give it the ability to go many different places off-road and give you the durability of a great wheel, check out Rika VS. They are committed to providing you with the highest quality specialized wheels and lift kits that will allow you to travel further, experience new adventures, and discover all those extraordinary destinations. Rika wants to make sure that you are ready for anything wherever adventure takes you. Their flow form process creates both lightweight and durable wheels, which are of the highest quality and are built to satisfy the requirements of all of you adventure enthusiasts. In addition to wheels, they also have lift kits, which raise your Subaru to protect the vehicle's underbody from damage while off-roading. The lift kits were also designed to increase the vehicle ride height in order to accommodate those larger tires that some people are looking for, while maintaining the factory ride quality and alignment. The quest for adventure begins with you, and Rika is what gets you there. Be sure to use the code SUBIEU10 at checkout to get 10% off a set of awesome wheels or a lift kit. Thank you so much, Rika VS, for sponsoring this Subie and You podcast. And now it's time for the patron question of the week, which comes from Jim, who goes by Little Ruby Subie. He asks, if the Crosstrek was never made, what Subaru would you drive? That's a really good question, because if I was going off-roading, I think I'd have to go with an Outback. I probably would have found an older Outback because I really like the body style, like I think it's the 3rd gen, but I also like the old Foresters as well, too. Now, if I was driving a tuner car, probably a WRX, because I've just heard that they are a little bit softer ride, but you can make those fast, and probably wouldn't be able to do too many modifications on it anyway, and would probably be very happy with the performance as a stock WRX. So thank you so much for the question, Jim. Really appreciate it. I hope I answered it well. Before we get into the episode, I have another Apple Podcast review to read off. The subject line is awesome. Love this podcast. Didn't really know how big the Subaru community was until I started listening. I started my IG Blue Guru because I wanted to follow all the cool guests that have been featured on here and kind of put an image to the actual rigs these people come up with. I owe my drive to connect with other enthusiasts on social media and locally because of this podcast. So thank you. Thank you for the review. I really, really appreciate it. Again, if you are listening on Apple Podcast, please go rate and review. I really appreciate it. It helps the podcast, and I will read your review. So you know the IG account is BLUGUROO. Thanks again. Okay, lastly, before we get into this episode, be sure to listen all the way through to the end because I have a very special announcement that I wanted to make. It was something that I saw somebody post on Instagram, and I decided to make something of it and put something together for everybody to listen to as a bit of informative, information. I guess that's the same thing. But yeah, so listen to the end. I promise it's worth it, and I hope you enjoy it. It's a little segment that I'm going to do. I've got 3 different ones that I'll spread out through the episodes, but hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you will. I'm sure you'll enjoy the person who is on as well. So with that, here we go into this episode with Skye to talk about California Rallycross Association and the other things that she has going on that she wanted to share. So let's get into this conversation with Skye. Well, welcome to another episode of the Subie and You podcast. I have Skye on again, and this is your 3rd appearance on the podcast, which is really cool, and I'm very honored to have you.
Hi, thanks for having me again.
You're welcome, of course. Yeah, you reached out to me, and I mean, we've kept in touch for a long time, and it was very cool to get you on the first time. It was awesome to meet you in person out at Subie Fest, California. And then now here we are again because you've got some really exciting things to share, and I'm excited to be able to help you share that.
Yeah, a lot has happened since last year in September. Even the first year when I came on with you, I don't know where to start. Where do I start?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we can start off with when I had you on the podcast, you were at about 75,000 followers, and now you're over 100,000. So that's a pretty cool accomplishment.
It's just a number, but yeah, it's kind of cool. I mean, aside from the Instagram, I started a business. Hooray to me. I started the California Rallycross Association. I am the founder of said organization. I will just abbreviate it CRA. CRA is a media and promotions company to bring sponsorships, education, and promote events to drivers and organizers, mostly in California, but also around the country. So we're able to bring everything all in one under that.
And when did you start that up?
I started CRA beginning of this year. We finally got the S Corp settled and all the other business parts of it done. And we just finally aired or launched the website this past month, actually.
Nice. Yep. Yeah. I remember you shared it with me, and it was really cool to see that.
Yeah, it's nice because Rallycross, not a lot of people know what it is, or the fact that it's the most beginner entry-level form of rally that you can get involved in. And anything you need to know about Rallycross is going to be on there, whether, what do I bring, what to expect, what is Rallycross. There's, tons of photos up there. There's, even if you're not in California, there's events on there that, are affiliates by or of CRA, in, Texas and Arizona and Nebraska and, Utah, even Northwest area. We're really trying to promote everyone's events on there so everybody can become aware. And we're hoping to get more East Coast events on there as well.
So how long did you have the idea to do this?
To do CRA?
Yeah.
I would say Probably about a year. I started just because so many people came to me and asked, what is rallycross, right? Like nobody really knows. I mean, it's basically autocross but in the dirt. You can bring your daily driver. All you need is a helmet, and it's very beginner friendly, entry level friendly. I mean, you're looking at half the cost of a track day to come out to a rallycross event. I mean, my events are $155 for 2 days worth of seat time versus
Yeah.
a track day, which is $300 to $400 minimum, right? You don't need insurance for what we do. So I think I really just wanted to, provide kind of like a little hub to drivers and potential drivers, right? Where all they have to do is just type in rallycra.com and every single thing that they need is on there.
That's good. Yeah.
Mhm.
Is this something that you're looking to grow into something else? I mean, do you have like kind of a grand vision of what you want to do with it?
We are not going to be like a sanctioning body, if that's what you're asking. I'm not, I personally host events, under CRA's name, right? We don't want to have our own rule book or anything like that, really. It's just more of, I think, grand plan would be, people, on West Coast and East Coast combined will know what CRA is and can utilize all of the sponsors and all of the help and support on there. I mean, every sponsor that's on there, EBC Brakes, Eachworks, Dio Dynamics, Cool Shirt, all of those, Royal Purple, like all of those companies and those codes, they're available to everyone,
Oh,
not
that's good.
just me, and I really wanted to bring these higher end companies in for the first time to drivers and organizers that maybe didn't have that access before, you
Yeah, so
know?
it's a good place for them to go and try to get these sponsorships instead of trying to go hunt
Yeah,
them down on their own.
exactly. I sponsorships are very, very hard to get, right? Even if you're looking at a 10 to 20% off sponsorship, that's hard to get because if you don't have, let's say, a media following, or you don't have a YouTube, or you don't have a business, or you don't just have time, right? You need to have something that you can give back to the sponsor, right? It's mutually beneficial. What can you bring to the table? Well, I kind of utilize the connections in my personal following to bring that to them so they don't have to do any of that work. So we can help grow, our grassroots industry, right? I mean, not everybody knows what we do, and we're not made of a ton of money, right? So any little bit will help. And with these companies coming in, these higher end companies coming in, they're gonna start promoting rallycross on their end. And I mean, we can start growing more, right?
Yeah. How have these companies kind of taken off to what you're doing? Like, did they, when you've reached out to them, are they really excited about what you're doing and really excited to be a part of it?
Yeah. So half of them are actually sponsors of my events last year. So, for example, EBC Brakes, they were a sponsor for my May event last year. They gave away, 8 full brake kits, right, as a raffle prize to our drivers. And when I told them about this, I mean, they were excited. When I talked to people at PRI about, hey, I'm trying to do this, they know me personally, but if I'm now starting CRA, now we have, this, bigger network and community of people, then that just helps them with their promotions, right? So of course, they're going to want to jump on board with that. So I think it's just a win-win overall, right? So they're really excited.
Yeah. Are you still reaching out to other sponsors and trying to get more to come on board? Or do you feel like you have a good list?
I would say right now I have more sponsors than I have events that I'm promoting or that I'm personally not promoting, but I'm personally hosting,
Yeah.
right? So I'm trying to balance that out a little bit because, for example, Works, they're coming in and I can't tell you what we're giving away at my events, but it's like, okay, I want to make sure that they have, an event specifically for them, right? So I can make it all about them and promoting them, right? So right now I'm trying to I might just keep with what we have now. And
Yeah.
then, because another thing is it's we have to be realistic here. This isn't a 10,000, 20,000, racer community, right? At least right now with CRA. There are other racers out there, but at least with right now with CRA that I can tell to these companies. So we need to start small, right? And then we can work our way up, it's something maybe a little bit bigger. But at least for now, I mean, we have, like I said, like 5 or 6 different sponsors for CRA that are available to everyone across the country. if you're involved in motorsport. So
Yeah, so these sponsorships are mainly just for people that are looking to get into rallycross.
for the most part, it is California Rallycross Association. So if you go on our website, you're going to see, EBC brakes, 10% off or whatever, cool shirt, whatever percent off. Like you're going to see those things. Obviously if somebody else who's maybe in autocross sees that, why wouldn't you jump on that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's right there. But I think that's part of the cool thing about it is because I can tell the sponsors like, hey, you might actually have this extra little bit of reach as well, and then you have my page backing it and everything else. So and they know me personally, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's good. It's cool that you started this and you found something that you can use your connections with and something that you've already been doing to bring something else out, something new and something that you can be passionate about and see so many different people benefit from it, both between the people that are doing the rallycross and then people that, the sponsors, and seeing their recognition and brands grow and get more word of mouth, and then just seeing it on the website and seeing them pop up in events, eventually. That's gonna be really cool.
yeah, the rallycross community is such an amazing community of people. I hate to use the term we're like family, but it kind of is, honestly. I mean, everyone there is there for you to help you succeed. And I'll give you an example. So, as you know, I snap axles all the time in my car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, one of the times I did that, I ran to O'Reilly's because I needed to get a spare axle. I had to, it was a Saturday, I had to race Sunday, right? And I came back from O'Reilly's at like 8 o'clock at night, back to the track, and there's like 4 people under my car pulling out the old one, and getting it prepped for me so I can come in and put the new one in. And I mean, they were just handing me wrenches, they're handing me flashlights, they're handing me anything I needed. It's like that community of people.
Yeah.
You can't buy that, right? Like it's so cool. And this is my way to give back to the community, right? Like I have something that I can do and I want to give all I can to these people. Absolutely.
And the rallycross is open to all different classes of cars.
So most of our drivers, they bring their daily drivers out.
Yeah.
So we have 3 different classes, stock, prepared, and modified. And stock class is what it sounds like. It has to be a stock car, meaning, OEM parts, stock parts, no modifications. You can run winter tires if you want to get a little more grip for maybe summer or all season. That's it, right? Most people start in stock just because it's more entry level, right? I mean, not necessarily entry level in a skill wise goes, but if they have a daily driver car, they may not be modified, right? And then you have the prepared class, which is basically stock with bolt-ons. Like you can do suspension, you can have rally tires in there, but you can't have, an E85 kit on there, conversion kit. You can't have a bigger turbo. Like you can't do those heavier mods, but you can have, a top mount intercooler. Like you can add that. That's fine. And then obviously mod is, like my black car. I mean, just throw muddy at it and hope it doesn't break, right? I mean, it's sky's the limit for that one. But I think the biggest thing that people get confused with rallycross is they think that rallycross is rally, and rally is your, Travis Pastrana, going 125 miles an hour down a forest road, with a co-driver. That isn't what we do, right? And it's not at all as dangerous as that. And you're not breaking your car like that. It's first, second gear in a closed course, made up by cones, in a field.
And is it primarily a flat course?
It depends on the course.
Okay.
Some organizers, they are blessed with, a little bit more of a fun track to where, you can have a little bit more, hill types of terrain. Most of my courses personally are going to be more flat. It's a little bit higher speed. But when I say higher speed, I mean, like I said, first, second gear, maybe third.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going 80 miles an hour, right? The stock cars, even prepared cars, you're not really breaking anything at all. Like I know people will associate my page and rallycross because I'm always fixing something.
Yeah.
However, keep in mind, my car is the only thing that's stock in that car are the front doors, right? I mean,
Yeah.
every single thing on that car is modified. So when you have a fully built race car, like I do, purpose-built race car, I mean, things are gonna break. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Especially with all the stress and the components, I mean, things are gonna break. So please don't think that when you see me fixing my car all the time and think that you're gonna be breaking things as well. If you're stock, if you're not very heavily modified, if you're going out just having a good time, you'll be fine. So,
Yeah. That's something I want to do at some point. I think that would be fun. I mean,
well,
I have a,
you know somebody who runs events
yeah.
here.
I mean, I have a slow cross track, but it is manual, so it'd be fun to drive.
I mean, we have a guy who comes out in a Raptor, a Ford Raptor.
Oh.
She a big girl, but she does it. We have people coming out in Golfs. We have people coming out in Little Rabbits and Camrys. And I mean, I would say most of the cars are Subaru, right? But you don't have to have all-wheel drive. You can have front, rear. I mean, sometimes we allow like the razors. So it's
Oh
depending
yeah.
on case basis. It's more of, do they have a cage? Is it wider rather than taller? Just safety. It's definitely, we allow it, but we need to talk to you first. But I mean, it's such a fun, safe environment. It really is. So it definitely, you need to come out, and it's cheap. Like, why not 2 days for $150? Like,
Yeah. No, definitely.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's other things I know that are going on that you wanted to talk about and announce. And I know a little bit about it, and you've kind of mentioned
Oh,
it on your page, but it's it's something that I'm like super, super happy for you and excited to see what you're
mhm.
just doing what you do for fun and the content that you put out there, the engagement that you have in the community, and then with sponsors and everything too. But to see you go from, like I said, doing something that you enjoy to now what is going to be coming up soon seems just almost like surreal, I'm sure. And like, is this really happening? But let's
Yeah,
fill us in a little bit on what's
I
going on.
I was reached out to by a Formula 3 team in England to fly out for some test days this summer, potentially drive with them in 2024. So before everybody gets excited, even though I'm very excited, let's take a step back here. It's I've known about this team. This team is called Fern GP, Fern GP. They have a team right now. Most of their team is consistent of women, which is really, really cool. That's why I've been following them for the past year or so, 2 years. And they have, mostly male drivers. I think they do have a female driver, but most of their crew wise are girls. And the reason why they reached out to me is they're starting the UK's first all-female single-seater team,
Nice.
which will be consistent of Formula Ford 1600s, then the 1800, and obviously then the F3 cars. Right now, it's let's just go out and do some test days. So I will be under the instruction of their professional driving coaches. I will be starting off in the 1600, the Ford 1600, then go to the 18, and then more than I think we're talking about potentially doing like a 2 day back-to-back session, at least when I go out there the first time for the weekend, to where I could then, once I go through those two cars, get comfortable with those because I don't have any single-seater experience, then go into the Formula 3 car. So, okay,
Yeah, that
that's
is
the
so cool.
way.
So
Yeah.
what are the like what's the Formula 3 car? Because I don't really know the difference between the different types of car. I mean, obviously single seater, that's pretty, self-explanatory, but is it just the configuration and horsepower and things like that?
I think I kind of understand what you're saying. I'm not entirely sure I
Because
get what
like
you're
I've heard of
asking.
Formula 1, but like what's Formula 3?
Formula 3 is basically your two steps down. So the cars look almost identical, right? Except for the arrow. But it's a very, very, very different than Formula One. Like, we're not, let's just be real. A lot of people are asking me, like, oh, are you going to go into, are you going to go into Formula One? No, we're not going to do that. But it's it's definitely you're using race slicks. It's very, very touchy. It's a completely different thing than I don't know how to explain it because I haven't driven it, honestly. But it's going to take a lot of preparation and a lot of work to even prepare for this, honestly.
Yeah.
I've hired a personal trainer. I've hired a somewhat expensive lady for karting lessons. I am going out to more track days, and honestly, I want to be the best I can be when I go out there,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
If it turns out that it's just a promotional thing where I fly out there a couple times a year and I help promote this all female team and I get to drive the cars and Instagram and all of that. I mean, who wouldn't take that?
Exactly.
But if it turns out okay, I get to drive in the actual series, then I think we're gonna have another conversation. It's definitely pretty big to have an I'm just so grateful, to say the least. I'm very, very excited. So they are sending me gear that I can wear out here, and I think we're partnering on a suit as well.
Wow.
That I can also wear out here too. So right now we're just waiting on passport. That's going to take a couple months, but yeah, I'm really, really excited. And the team's super cool. Like the girls are really nice. The owner, his name's Lee. He's super nice, and he really wants to promote, women in the industry and giving a chance to people that may not have this opportunity. Yeah, I'm very excited, to say the least.
So since they are sending you a suit or potentially sending you a suit and other things like that, are they asking and looking for you to start promoting them while you're over here before you go over there?
I think so. I think that's a big part of it, right? Which I absolutely want to. I
Yeah.
mean, they're starting an all girls team. I mean, we need more women in the industry, and I want to use the platform that I have to obviously promote that, right? I mean, I absolutely want to see more girls doing this. So, and who wouldn't want to promote this?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
while I'm out here. So, yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can for sure. But again, like let's take a step back. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to be in the series, and I'm not saying anything can happen out of it, but I'm going to take full advantage of it and do absolutely everything I can.
Yeah, I mean, just the fact that they've reached out to you and have asked you to help promote this and come over there
Yeah.
and, whatever it ends up turning into, it's an incredible opportunity. Even if it's, like you said, even if it's just that, if it's just promotional and you get to go over there and drive the cars and everything. But I mean, yeah, if you have an opportunity that gets you to do something that you never would have thought you would get to do, it's like you've got to jump on it.
Absolutely. I mean, this is definitely, I don't even know how to explain how happy I am. Like, I can't, like, when they first reached out to me, apparently I'm the only person in or actually all of the United States, actually, that they've reached out to for this.
Wow.
So I'll be the only American over there doing this, which is so cool. Like, it's a little nerve wracking, say the pressure. Like, there's so many other people you could have picked, right? But I'm just so excited.
You've got
Like,
you've got
yeah.
to work on your British lingo before you go over there.
British lingo. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. I'll say that.
Yeah, that's
But
that's really cool.
it's we're hoping to have the passport by July-ish. I have a passport appointment on March 27th that I'll be going and applying for because I've never traveled outside of the country. So I guess the first time traveling outside of the country to go drive a Formula 3 car is setting the bar a little high. But
Yeah.
hopefully go out the summer and then probably once other again in the fall. And then they mentioned maybe the winter series potentially. So which is a little bit smaller. I think it's for me it'd be a little bit more entry level for me to get into that. But yeah, I might be driving Formula 3 cars. I might
Yeah.
be a test
Yeah,
driver.
that's really cool. Either way, it's great. But yeah, same for me. I don't have a passport, so I've never been out of the US. So if I were to ever go somewhere, I would need to get one. Like I've been invited to come up to Canada, but I don't have a passport. So
You want to go to England and then
sure,
let's
let's do
go.
it.
Let's go. I mean, they're doing the test days at Silverstone, so I don't know if you want to just head on out there with me, right?
Yeah, it would
So
be cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Like Jordan's coming out, and they're taking care of me to go out there, and it's so cool. Like, oh my gosh.
So what else
So
has been going on? Have you been taking your FRS out more?
so I have taken her out. I was at Laguna a couple months ago, which was really cool. Able
Yeah.
to get her out there, and then I was able to do a couple Thunder Hill days, which was really cool too. But right now, it's just because of the rain and everything recently, I just haven't been able to do anything. So I'm hoping to get her out again. I actually got a cage in her, and I got a Sparco Pro 2000 seat and harness and everything from OG Racing. They were super nice and hooking me up with that. So they're actually a sponsor, by the way. They're actually the sponsor for my April 15th and 16th event.
Nice.
So we're going to be giving away some goodies from them.
Goodies are always good.
Goodies are always good. And they'll be having like a certain, I believe we're doing a certain page for specific things off their website that'll be like discounted costs. So we're still trying to work out the bugs on that, but we'll have, obviously parts for drivers. I mean, everybody needs safety gear, everybody needs helmet, right? So
Yeah.
if OG Racing can come in and help us with helmets for my drivers, it'd be great, So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now. I mean, I went to PRI. I told you about PRI.
I saw that. Explain that,
Mhm.
because I know that you had posted about that, and that looked like a really good opportunity also, and looked like you had a good time and had a lot of fun. And yeah,
Yeah.
tell us.
PRI is it stands for Performance Racing Industry, and PRI is, I would say, they're the largest racing basically promoter in the entire country, right? So they're basically the SEMA but for race cars. So their show it's 3 days long. There's thousands of vendors or like people showing, the best in new products for the race season. And I went out there and I spoke on a panel. That was super cool. I was able to talk about rally and content creation and everything. And it was live and it was terrifying, but I did it. And then I was a judge. So it's a show, right? So they had a certain section there that was like the 2023's like up and best up and greatest products, right? So like you had like the radium fuel cells, you had brake pads, you had oil, like all these types of different products, and I had to pick like my favorites, my picks for the entire show.
Wow, that's cool though. That's
There, yeah, so that was really cool. I met the Deech Works people there because I really liked their fuel additives, so that was really cool seeing them. And I was able to see a lot of the other sponsors there too and actually meet them in person. And then I had an autograph signing, and that was equally as I think that was more terrifying than actually speaking in front of an audience.
yeah.
But it was just so cool. Like when I was there, PRI, they flew me out there and took care of me. And I went to a really cool, I don't remember which NBA team is in Indianapolis, but I went to my first NBA game in like the box seats in the back, right? And like,
That's
all
really
these
cool.
really cool like people were there, like, very high end people were there. It was so cool to like meet them. Like it was so cool. And I went out to dinner with, all these other, like every night, it was just like, more and more events that I'm doing with other people. So I was absolutely tired. PRI is such a great industry, and they're such good people. Like they're so big supporters of the racing industry. And I'm doing anything I can to help them. Absolutely.
Yeah. Are
So
there any other opportunities that are going to come about with that or from that?
with PRI,
Yeah.
I would assume I'm going to be out there again this year. That is, if I'm not racing at Silverstone. But I would assume I'm going to be out there again this year. I'm actually, friends with a couple of the organizers of the show. So I've been keeping them up to date with the Formula 3 thing and, CRA and everything. So I would assume I'm going to be out there doing something similar. But I mean, that's up to them. Like they want to, great. But,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of good things going on, and more things keep happening, and you're getting all these opportunities. And because you said you started the Instagram page, what, 4 years ago?
Yeah, it'll be 4 years in like 3 weeks
Wow.
in April. Yeah. So to think that we went from, I literally started the car because my boyfriend, he crashed our at a rallycross event and I wanted to help obviously fix everything, but I couldn't afford that at the time, right? So I was like, okay, like how many girls do you see, have Instagrams, right? How many girls do you see can get, partial sponsorships? I'm thinking, okay, like I could do that, right? I did some modeling back in, college and when I was a kid. Like I actually was on a couple runways and I did some editorials and stuff. So it's like, okay, I know how to take some photos. I know how to kind of sort of present myself, right? I'm like, okay, let's just try the Instagram. And then within like the first 6 months, it got up to like 5,000 followers. And I'm like, oh man, this is, what is this? Right. And then I'm like, okay, like, I guess I can try reaching out, like writing a sponsorship proposal. And I wrote like 30 of them. Right. And I only heard back from two. And I got like my first, like 20% off sponsorship. And I was like, oh, this is the coolest thing ever. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then, 5,000 turned into 10. And I'm like, okay, like, I guess that's cool. Like, all right, I plateaued. I did it. Hooray. And then it just kind of went. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is, all right. And so, yeah, it's a little surreal to say the least. But
Did you have a personal Instagram account before that? Or was this your first one?
I did, and it was like 300 followers, and it was just like I've never really been a social media person, right? So, I really pretty rarely ever did anything on that, right? It was just kind of there.
Yeah.
So I would say that this one's probably the first one, yeah, probably.
And do you have Facebook too, or are you just doing Instagram?
No, I just do Instagram. I don't do Snapchat. I don't do any of the other ones just because I don't know, like social media is a lot, right?
Yeah.
And I like to have my personal life disconnected from social media, right? And I think that once you start kind of getting all those apps and all those things, and it just takes away from what I want to do with my day and my family. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, I found
So,
myself like trying to keep myself off of Instagram as much lately than I was before. And I mean, I know it's good to promote the podcast and engage with people, which I do. Like if people DM me, I'll message them back, and if
yeah,
people comment on something, I'll comment back and stuff. But same kind of thing. And I have a Facebook page, but I don't ever do anything with it. I have it set up though that when I post on Instagram, it also posts on Facebook, and I'll see that like somebody's liked it or comments. But I just I don't want to get into trying to run a bunch of different social media stuff. And people have said, "Oh, you should do a YouTube channel," and it would be great. I would love to do it YouTube, and I have a YouTube channel. I just don't do anything with it because I don't know
I
how
don't
to
have the time.
edit. Huh?
Yeah, I don't have the time for that. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I could make the time, but if I make the time to do all these other things, then I'm going to get back to not having any time for myself. And that's not
yeah,
what I want. And, if I do less, I can have better quality material, I think, to put out rather than just trying to
yeah,
put stuff out. Like, I don't even do that much with my car anymore because I live in an area where I don't really have an opportunity to get much content. I mean, I can take photos places, but,
mhm,
having a car that is off road capable, I see all these people in California and the Pacific Northwest and California who are getting out to trails quite often, and they have a lot of really good content. I can't remember the last time I got out on a trail because we just don't really have much around here. So, I try to do some stuff, especially like my wheel sponsor. I try to do at least something for them once a week. But other than that, it's just like sometimes it kind of gets depressing because I don't really have a whole lot to get out to here. And then I see all these people, all over Instagram driving through awesome trails and mountains and snow and mud. And
well, keep in mind too that Instagram isn't always what you see. Like, it isn't
oh, yeah,
always
of course not.
reality, right? So, I mean, you could be seeing those people, and those people could be doing those things. And I'm not saying they aren't, but also if you go out to a trail and you're out there for 3 days, you could take a ton of photos and you can make that last for
Oh,
six
yeah.
months.
No, I know.
You know
I
what I
know
mean?
people that do that
So,
too.
yeah, I do that. I mean, it's smart. I try to get as many photos in there and as possible as I can during one session, and you kind of just spread it out. But I tried the YouTube thing, and it just got to the point where I just started hating what I was doing. Right. You know, with YouTube, you have to film literally everything you're doing. Right. So I did a lot of, fixing the car, upgrading the car, whatever. Right. And it was always like, oh, I need to get the right angle, or oh, I need to get this, or oh, maybe I said the wrong thing, I have to re-say it, or all in lighting and then the editing. Like, it took so long. And it's like, I have a life outside of this, right? I don't need to film everything I'm doing,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
So
and then trying to do all of that extra stuff on top of working a full-time job,
oh yeah, no, I'm
you know?
full-time job and I'm full-time MBA student. Like, I'm literally going for my MBA right now.
Yeah, and
So
that
it's
I know
like,
that takes up a lot of time because my brother did his MBA too, like several years ago, and he was like had no time for hardly anything else.
yeah, it's really, really hard to juggle everything. Luckily I have really good support from Jordan, my boyfriend. Like, he's been great. He does everything he can to help support, what we're doing, right? Because he and I both went in equal with CRA to help promote it. So, but sometimes, I mean, it's, I'm looking at this Formula 3 thing, right? And it's okay. I got to pick and choose, right? I got to decide, okay, what's most important? Is an opportunity like this going to come around again? But will school always be there, right? So should
Yeah.
I go part-time? Maybe should I go, only one class a semester instead of, my two, and over the summer and over the winter doing 5 classes a year. Maybe I should just do 2 classes in a year, that way I'm still doing it, but I can also take advantage of this other opportunity, because I don't want to be that person that's like, I'm going to start a YouTube, and they just quit their job, quit everything, and they quit their education, and they just go do it. And it's like, you understand how saturated this market is. The likelihood of you being able to actually succeed like you want, like have a backup plan,
Yeah.
So, for me, it's if the Formula 3 thing works, great, I'm going to take it full force. But if it doesn't, I still have a very good paying job. I still have, at least for me, like, I got the education, I have the bachelor's degree. I mean, I got that, or you have your trade or your whatever else you did instead of that. So at least I'm okay. If it doesn't, like, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about? Share about what's going on with your personal rally journey?
My car's still broken, but that's not new. That she'll probably still be down until, I mean, I obliterated the transfer case, and the PAR straight cut gears were chipped. So I'm still waiting for gears overseas for that. So it's like, okay, well, I guess that'll be another 2 months.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I mean, I'm doing a lot, as we kind of talked about. So
Yeah, you are.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
good, but then it's also can sometimes be overwhelming, even if it's a lot of good things. It's just,
Yeah.
you got to kind of reel it all in and take it in and, chip things off a little bit at a time and just dedicate time to certain things at certain times. And
I think the biggest thing is doing that, but also appreciating every single person that helped me get to where I am today.
yeah, of
Right?
course.
Like, people such as yourself, you've been supportive of me. You've had me on the show 3 times, right? And I can't forget about that, right? Like, even if, let's say, grand scheme, I'm at, on this Formula 3 team and all this wonderful stuff, it's like, I can't, even if that does happen, like, I can't forget where I come from.
Yeah, of course.
Right? I can't. And, like, some people ask me, they're like, well, are you still gonna host rallycross events? It's like, guys, I haven't even made it out there yet. Like, let's just one thing at a time. But the answer is, yeah. I still want to be a part of the community, right? I still want to remember all of what got me here. So I think that's also, I think, a little overwhelming too, to think about. That these opportunities are here, and it's like, man, my life's kind of changing, but I couldn't have done this without all of these other people. So
Yeah.
also that too. It's a little bittersweet.
It's great just to have the support from people, especially from Jordan, of course. That's first and foremost, but then all the support that you get from the community, from the sponsors, from these events. And, just like you said, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the people that have supported you along the way and helped you out.
it's so cool to talk with all of these people like in person. Like when we went to Subie Fest, I got to meet you in person. It was great. I just got to meet so many people in person, and it's so cool to actually meet them and actually say thank you to them directly, and and say, hey, I appreciate your support. It does mean something to me. Thank you. And it really does. It's so cool to be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's just like just people that you connect with on Instagram and, getting to meet them in person. It is such a cool feeling. And,
Yeah.
and like I said, I told you, I think I said it offline, as I've met, I think probably a little over 50 people that have been on the podcast. I've met them in person, which is really cool because I started looking through the list one time and I was like, oh my gosh, I've actually met quite a few people in person, which I didn't think I would get to do because most of them are remote. So it's been cool to be able to have the opportunities to go out and meet these people.
Yeah, it's I think that's the biggest. I think that's my most favorite thing, honestly.
Yeah.
Like having somebody get so excited running up to you, being like, "Oh, I know you! Like, I follow you on Instagram." I'm like, "Hi, hello." You know what I mean? It's cool being able to talk to them, especially when they, if I'm there and they have their car there and they, walk me over to their car. Because absolutely, I want to see it. Absolutely, and they like tell me all about it. It's like, oh, this is so cool. Like, I love this, so I get to see their passion, too. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, anything else you want to share or say?
I think that's it. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, of course. It was nice to have you on again. And I'm sure with everything going on, get a chance to have you on later on.
Yeah, I'll just bring you out to England with me,
All right.
Like I'll just have you on track with me and you can just, host a live session right there,
That would be awesome. Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. All right. And now here is that little extra special something that I said I have for you at the end. So here we go.
Hey, what's up? This is Bucky Lassick coming to you with the Subie and You podcast public service announcement. If you recently had your car serviced and you know that they mounted or rotated your tires, do yourself a favor. Check the torque specs on all your lug nuts because this is a very serious issue to deal with, whether they're loose or over-tightened. We all know the effects of what loose lug nuts can cause, but over-tightened lug nuts can also be just as dangerous. They can strip or even break off studs, causing your tire to eventually fall off your car.
That sounds horrible, Bucky. Nobody wants that. And there you have it, a public service announcement from the man himself, Bucky Lassick. He had posted in his story and then also on his page about his lug nuts being way, way, way too tight, way over torqued. And so I reached out to him and asked him if he would be willing to come on and talk about that and just something very brief about the importance of checking your lug nuts. So something I don't do, but I know I should. So thank you so much, Bucky, for coming on, taking the time to do that. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the information for all of the listeners. There's going to be a couple of more of these that will be spread out through a couple of other episodes. And if you want to hear the full conversation with me and Bucky, because he didn't just come on and record that, we had a conversation around it. So if you want to hear the extra bonus material, go to subieandyoupodcast.com and click on the button right there on the front that says support the podcast and become a patron, get access to the Discord server and to additional bonus content like my conversation with Bucky Lassick. There are also bonus questions that I've asked of some of my guests and just candid conversation that I'm going to start throwing in there so that you can hear some of the behind the scenes stuff around the episode. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for showing up for another episode. I really appreciate it. And go support the podcast. Become a patron. Have a great week.